And welcome back. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Anne Njoroge, or rather Caroline Njoroge. Now let's go on with the lunchtime news. And matters drought now. National Drought Management Authority is seeking partnerships with the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KEPSA, on drought resilience and arid and semi-arid land investments. Now speaking during a strategic private sector forum in Nairobi, NDMA Chief Executive Officer retired Colonel Harold Eden and head of KEPSA Consult Senior Circular Economy and Climate Change Coordinator Dr. Jackson Kwemburi said the conversation is shifting from responding to drought to investing in resilience to build stronger communities. Take a look.
This year alone, the government has invested 400 million in various infrastructures that build resilience of our community. And out of that, 82% was on water infrastructure. The European Union, that we work very closely, have also injected 184 million. And by so doing, if we build a resilience of our community, then they will be able to withstand the various shocks. Remember, if you address the issue of water, you address 99% of the problem of arid and semi-arid. We have countries where it never rains for 4 years, 6 years, but you never hear drought. So, and the government has focused now on the issue of water infrastructure to be able to address the issue of drought.
The private sector, we have seen it right that we pump in money where it's needed at, because we have been doing business, obviously, and now we want to do business not as usual in terms of how do we give back to the community. And climate change is a big issue. And with those communities being affected by the issues of drought, then it means that some of these products that we get from these counties will not be possible for us to do business in.
And away from that, more than 63 million people across the Intergovernmental Authority on Development IGAD region face food security, with declining soil fertility, land degradation and climate change continuing to undermine agricultural productivity. In response, member states have launched a regional platform aimed at strengthening soil health management and promoting sustainable fertilizer use. Aaron Murray reports.
Our IGAD region largely depends on agriculture. Around 70% depends on agriculture of our economy, right, from employment to food security to economic development, improving our GDP. So all these are largely dependent on agriculture. Now, without soils, there is no agriculture. We need the soil because it is the bedrock.
As IGAD Secretariat, we reaffirm our dedication to supporting member states in enhancing soil fertility management, promoting sustainable and efficient fertilizer use, strengthening data knowledge sharing and innovation systems, and facilitating policy harmonization.
Okay, we are looking at inaugurating the steering committee and the technical committee of the IGAD Soil Hub. And then we are looking at also reviewing and discussing the draft terms of references for the technical committee and the steering committee.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru have asked Kenyans to support the re-election of President William Ruto, saying his administration has continued to deliver development despite facing multiple global and domestic economic challenges. The two emphasized the importance of a political continuity, arguing that sustained leadership was necessary for long-term national transformation. Here's more.
2027 politics took center stage during a women economic empowerment program in Kuria West, Migori County, hosted by the area MP Matthias Robbie. Among the leaders present was CS John Mbadi and Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, who drummed up support for President William Ruto's re-election bid 2027.
Ninataka niwasihi muendelee kusupport na kuunga mkono serikali hii ya William Samoei Ruto. Kwa sababu gani? Ruto amejaribu kufanya kazi nchi hii, hakuna president mwingine amewahi fanya before.
The leaders are noting that the president's development track record continues to demonstrate tangible progress across the country.
Ninyi kama wamama wa Kuria, mumekubali William Ruto apewe term yake ya pili. Nyinyi mko upande wa 2 term. Kama sasa huku Kuria West nasikia kila constituency imepata barabara. Iko rais mwingine amefanya hivyo.
Kila sehemu, kila constituency kuna new market in this country. Ile hajawahi onekana nchi hii tangu tupate uhuru. Affordable housing ni vile vile. Walikuwa wanapiga kelele ati education ati serikali ya Ruto ina defund education. Sasa kwa hii budget ya 26-27 tumeweka budget ya 784 billion shillings.
Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru dismissed claims that Mount Kenya region has shifted its political allegiance, saying the mountain owes President Ruto a second term.
Sisi tunataka kushikilia William Samoei Ruto arudi term yake ya pili. Na hata huko Kirinyaga na Mount Kenya nasema kila siku. Mwai Kibaki alifanya yake 10. Uhuru Kenyatta alifanya yake 10. Kwa hivyo na alisema tumpe 10 alafu tupe Ruto 10 yake. Mimi naambia kila mtu especially wa kule kwetu tulipe deni ya William Samoei Ruto.
Other leaders present, including Kirinyaga Central MP Gashoki Gitari and Migori County MP Fatuma Zainab, pledged their unwavering support for the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Waiguru aliingia treasury mbele yako. Sasa umeingia treasury. Upatie Waiguru nafasi aingie deputy president now. Alafu next 2032 akuwe president, ukuwe deputy yake. Mungu awabariki.
Na saa hii uchumi msione mafuta. Mtu mwingine tulikuwa kwa budget pale anasema ati mafuta, bei ya mafuta Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya ni karibu sawa. Tofauti shilingi 1 ama 2. Iko sawa?
Sisi tumesimama na Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Na hapa tunasema ngapi? Tunasema ngapi ya Ruto? Ngapi ya Mheshimiwa Ruto?
Kamchemenza for Lunchtime News.
The Kiambu County government has constructed 2 key link roads in Juja, providing alternative access routes for motorists. Now, one road will connect motorists to Juja Farm Road, while the other will offer a direct link to the Nairobi Thika Superhighway. Now, speaking during the construction of the link roads, Kalimoni Ward MCA Godfrey Musheke noted that the project would enhance accessibility, attract more investment and business opportunities, and stimulate social and economic development in Juja and its surroundings. The residents welcomed this initiative, saying that they have endured severe traffic jams for years, particularly during peak hours, which have affected businesses and daily activities.
Hii sasa barabara ambayo tunatengeneza siku ya leo ndio itatuondolea aibu na kupoteza kwingi kwa masaa, ambayo tunajua masaa ni pesa kwa watu ambao wanatumia hii barabara. Kwa hivyo tunawaambia watu wenye wamekuwa wakiogopa kuingia Juja, wakiogopa kwenda barabara ya Juja Farm na kutokezea ya kwamba hiyo shida kuanzia leo hatutakuwa nayo tena.
Mimi ni mkaaji wa hii Juja Farm. So hii barabara vile inatengenezwa tu mnafanya kazi mzuri. Sababu kila wakati nikitoka kwangu napata jam ikiwa imeshikana sana hapa, na ikipanuliwa hapa itatusaidia sababu magari itaweza kupata nafasi kubwa ili tuweze kupita.
Kama customer amesema hadi anakuja huku ungekaa hapa kwa jam kama more than 2 hours. Hata ilikuwa so hectic kwa wakaaji wa Juja Farm na huko ardhi. So sasa sisi tunafurahia sana venye imefunguliwa. Juu sasa tutaweza kupenya na kuenda town vizuri na kurudi manyumbani kwetu vizuri.
Residents of Kisii County have been urged to support the cooperation and working relationship between the United Democratic Alliance UDA and Orange Democratic Movement ODM. Now speaking during a church fundraiser at St. Ambrose Kabeo Catholic Parish in Nyamache Sub-County, Broadcasting and Telecommunication Principal Secretary Stephen Isaboke said the teamwork between the two parties had fostered unity and inclusivity in the region. Now, Isaboke noted that the national government had initiated several multi-million infrastructure projects in Kisii following the signing of the political pact, adding that soon they will roll out digital hubs and innovation centers as well as expansion of internet connectivity in the county. Medical Services PS Dr. Oma Oluga, who also graced the occasion, said the arrangement had led to the successful rollout of the Social Health Authority to expand medical insurance access to Kenyans. Sentiments shared by his basic education counterpart, John Oloitua, reiterates the government's commitment to providing capitation to schools and employing additional tutors.
Tutaendelea kufanya kazi pamoja, both with the governor and with the president, ndio tulete maendeleo hapa kwetu. Mumesikia within 1 year tumefanya hiyo primary school 62 million, digital hub hapa 10 million inaisha.
Nataka kila Mkenya awe na ile bima ya afya ambayo inaitwa SHA. Sasa we ukitoka hapa tafadhali jiandikishe.
Sasa na walimu na kila mtu ambaye wako hapa, nataka tushikilie ili nidhamu isimame katika mashule yetu. Hatutaki kuona mambo ambayo sio poa. Kila kitu ikuwe poa.
Now listen to this. Kenyan men have been challenged to speak out and avoid suffering in silence. Now speaking at a run to commemorate Father's Day held in Nairobi, the director of Harriet Botanicals, Harriet Chebet Ngok, claimed many men often neglect their health and shy away from going for regular checkups, only to later harm themselves or their families. Now the run was aimed at raising awareness on preventive healthcare and healthy living among men.
We support this event because we support men in families and we want to support them in their health challenges, especially around prostate issues, benign prostate hyperplasia and prostate cancer as well, stage 1 and 2. We do support the healing process. Because we deal with hormonal health, a lot of time hormonal issues arise out of mental health. If your testosterone is low, if your estrogen is low, or if it's too high, if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome and nobody to talk to, if you have Asherman syndrome, if you have erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation and nobody to talk to, if your energy is low, you don't sleep well, or you have mood swings, the chances of you developing mental health issues are very high.
And a happy belated Father's Day to all fathers outside there. Now, the registrar of political parties is cautioning parties and their hierarchy against abetting violence and gunnism ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, Registrar John Cox Loronioko has assured Kenyans that his office will penalize those found guilty of balkanizing the country. Speaking in Kitale, Trans Nzoia County, after a week-long consultative forum with stakeholders, Loronioko warned that political violence threatens democracy and urged political parties to follow electoral guidelines and promote fair participation among members.
Citizen includes people with disabilities. Every citizen includes women. Every citizen includes youth. So when we talk of democracy, we are not talking of inclusion as an additional thing. You know, we are not just adding them because somehow we see they are around. We are adding them because it's a critical ingredient of what democracy means. Because democracy means that every Kenyan, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their ability, has an opportunity to participate. One of the things that we will wish to do before we get to the general election is get to have all the party leaders and the secretary generals of all the 96 political parties that we have now to sit down and ask ourselves, what kind of Kenya do we want to have?
Now, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration has welcomed Parliament's approval of the National Cybersecurity Agency Order 2026, which will establish the National Cybersecurity Agency. The autonomous regulatory and technical body will be mandated with the coordination of national cybersecurity efforts and will strengthen the protection of the country's digital infrastructure. The Ministry of Interior says the establishment of the agency will mark a significant step in Kenya's efforts to secure its rapidly expanding digital ecosystem and safeguard critical information infrastructure that supports national security, public service delivery, economic activity, and daily lives of millions of Kenyans. We cross over to Nyeri County, where the young people have been urged to continue leveraging opportunities that will assist them in upskilling to fit into the evolving job market. I was speaking at the Kabete National Polytechnic during the 4th and International Research Conference, where various institutions showcased their innovations. Chief Principal of Nyeri National Polytechnic, Rachel Kimani, noted that the institution is embracing the youth who may be skilled but do not have a formal training. She said the institution has mainly focused on skilling the youth to ensure they are up to date with the demands of various industries.
We have also been doing recognition of prior learning for those that have skills but have not gone through the formal training. So in case you have any relative, any neighbor that you know that has skills but do not have certificates, and they would really want to get those certificates, send them to the Nyeri National Polytechnic. We'll be ready to assess them. I want to encourage the youth who are our trainees and the youth out there to ensure that they do not remain where they are in matter skilling. You could be at 0 level, you could be at level 1, you could be at level 3. Upskill, because the industry is looking for people that are market ready.
We are also here to interact with the industry so that we can transfer that knowledge to our trainees and also help us in finishing and furnishing our innovations so that they can fit in the market.
Now to matters education, the St. Paul University has successfully held the first edition of its Elimu Bora Run, an initiative aimed at raising funds to support hundreds of needy students who are struggling to finance their academic studies. Now speaking during the event, St. Paul University Vice Chancellor Professor Esther Mombo noted the marathon marks the institution's first major community wellness initiative aimed at promoting physical fitness while bringing people together for a noble course. The event, which featured 15-kilometer, 10-kilometer and 15-kilometer races, brought together students, staff, sponsors and members of the public in a collective effort to raise 20 million Kenyan shillings.
This marathon is to raise funding for an endowment, and our target is 20 million.
Financial limitation should also not limit one's ambition when it comes to academic pursuits. And hence this run actually serves to play a critical role in terms of powering the young leadership or the young students that we have within our universities in order for them to realize their ambition.
But those have the willingness to support other people in need, and calling upon each and every one of them to come and support this great initiative. Yes, so that's because the more the merrier, the more people come in, the more we reach more students who are in need.
Now to Mandera County, where Mandera East Member of Parliament Hussein Waitan has praised the government's decision to formally integrate madrasa and dukse education into Kenya's national education system, describing it as a historic and transformative step for religious and early childhood education in the country. Now speaking during the opening of Al Najah Madrasa, Waitan said the president announced that madrasas and dukses will now be officially recognized within the Republic of Kenya's education framework, alongside other formal learning institutions.
When we were in Wajir recently, in Madaraka Day, the president declared that madrasa and duksi will be integrated in the educational system of the Republic of Kenya. Parliament has allocated budget to the madrasas and duksis, meaning our madrasa teachers, our duksi teachers will be paid by Teachers Service Commission from now. And we would like to appreciate our president, Mheshimiwa His Excellency William Samoei Arap Ruto.
And now let's cross over to Kiambu County, where over 1,000 members of the Catholic Men Association came together in a colorful display of talent and unity during a music competition festival held at St. Martin de Porres Karuri Parish, Kiambu County. The performances brought together men's choirs from different Catholic churches in Kiambu County in a bid to strengthen unity, promote family values, and encourage men to take up their responsibilities both at home and in society.
Weapons. Wazee kama hawa ninajua wanakuwa na shughuli nyingi katika kutafuta riziki kwa ajili ya familia zao, na jioni wanapata nafasi kuja kufanya mazoezi. Tushirikiane katika uenezaji wa Injili katika kanisa letu.
The competition, happening simultaneously with the International Father's Day, highlighted challenges such as work commitment and economic difficulties and provided a platform for positive engagement among men.
Wazee wameweza kushiriki mashindano ya CMA ya wimbo, na imekuwa mfano mwema sana kwa wazee, na imekuja siku mzuri sana, siku ya International Men's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the men, na tunashukuru sana na tumefurahi sana.
Father Peter Muigai, who joined the celebrations in solidarity with the men, lauded the initiative, describing it as a true reflection of the CMA slogan, Good Family, Good Church, Good Society.
Na wakati tunaposhirikiana na wazee hawa, furaha yangu ni kwamba wakiwa hawa ndio msingi wa kanisa letu. Kanisa letu linapata kuendelea katika namna zote za maisha.
At the end of the competition, Gashia Parish emerged as the overall winner, followed by St. Peter and Paul Parish Kiambu in second place, while Viara Parish secured the third position as the Dinnery Level Festival concluded.
Najua ya kwamba tukienda the next level ya zonals, tutakuwa na wazee wengi after leo watatujumika na sisi tukienda mbele.
The participants now shift their focus to the zonal festival scheduled for the 23rd of August. Joy Naomi, Lunchtime News.
And now from Kiambu to Busia County, where a section of members of the County Assembly from Busia County have called on the youths to shun violence and maintain peace during the planned June 25th commemoration. The leaders urged the young people to exercise their constitutional rights responsibly and avoid actions that could lead to the destruction of property or disruption of business activities. Now speaking in Busibwabo village in Matayo's constituency, the MCs led by Okelo Mudibo of Mayenje Ward, Dennis Kinda, and outgoing Ford Kenya chairperson Emmanuel Osore noted that while citizens have a right to assemble and express their views, any demonstrations should remain peaceful and lawful.
Wakati tunafanya maandamano, vijana tufanye maandamano ya amani. Msitembee na vitu kwenda kuibia wamama ama kuanza kuvunja maduka ya watu. Hiyo ni kitu nawaomba kama kiongozi mwenzenyu kijana, sababu wakati utaenda kuvunja duka ya mtu na polisi yako pale, hawezi nyamaza tu, lazima atatupiga. Kweli urongo?
Vipi ya kusema kwamba tuko na vijana ambao wengine wanataka kupiga wengine, atuia akaenda kuomba kukura, unapiga mwingine, unafanya mwingine, kelele ifuatane nayo. Wewe sikiza tu, na siku ya mwisho unapigia mtu, unafanya nini? Unamtaka.
Now, religious leaders from Njiro in Nairobi County have called on the political class to refrain from inflammatory and divisive political rhetoric, warning that such statements could fuel violence and undermine national unity. Speaking at Jubilee Christian Church, the clergy led by Bishop Josephat Njoroge appealed to leaders to promote peace, tolerance and freedom of worship in the country, while all Kenyans to reject violence and uphold national cohesion.
We, the clergy and faith leaders under the Sauti Mashinani Green Foundation, address a nation with deep concern regarding emerging issues that continue to threaten the foundations of justice, peace, humanity, dignity, and constitutional freedoms in our beloved nation.
And our parents have been urged to utilize the ongoing school midterm break to engage with the children in meaningful discussions on discipline, responsibility, and moral values in a bid to curb the rising cases of indiscipline in schools. Now, speaking during a handover of a new school bus in a Naikuria Secondary School in Igembe North constituency, the area Member of Parliament Julius Taitumo noted that students engaging in destructive behavior require collective efforts from parents, teachers, and the wider community to address. Now, Igembe South MP John Paul Murigi also lauded development projects in the area, including a police training camp aimed at enhancing security. The leaders reaffirmed their commitment to supporting education and community development.
Huu mzigo wa kulea si mzigo wa mwalimu. Watoto wakiingia midterm, wazazi tuongee na wao. Ndio tuwajaribu kuleta maadili ya watoto. Yale tunaona katika chuo ama vyuo vile vingine and secondary schools, zile za malazi, si mambo ya kuridhisha. Ni vyema uongee na mtoto wako, tuwafunze maadili. Kuchoma zule si jambo njema.
Wakati ambapo Mheshimiwa TJ ameweza kuchaguliwa akiwa ameshirikiana na Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto, ameweza kuleta chuo ambacho kitaweza kusaidia wananchi wa Igembe North.
And on that note, we take a short commercial break. Don't go too far, there's still so much more coming your way. Welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. There was joy and a celebration among residents of Kiora Estate in Kiambu County following the commissioning of an electricity transformer that now promises to end years of darkness and challenges in growing a settlement. More in the county's roundup.
During the official commissioning of a 200 kVA transformer, Residents Representative Muraya Karanja described the project as a major milestone achieved after years of persistence and collective effort. He further noted that more than 3,000 households can now enjoy reliable electricity.
This particular estate, which covers close to 600 acres, is a home, and at full capacity of occupation, it will be a home to close to 3,000 households.
Still in Kiambu County, St. Paul University has successfully held the first edition of its Elimu Bora Run, an initiative aimed at raising funds to support hundreds of needy students who are struggling to finance their academic studies.
This marathon is to raise funding for an endowment that will support students who want to advance in their academic life.
The purpose of today's run was to raise funds for the needy students and a scholarship, and I urge more sportmen. This is an opportunity for us to join also the university.
Meanwhile, leaders from the Kikuyu Council of Elders, the business community, women groups, and student representatives have praised ongoing efforts to promote unity, cohesion, and inclusive development in Machakos County.
Leo tumefika hapa Machakos County kuweza kukutana watu wa mlima wote, kuweza kuongea juu ya ushikamano wetu kama Wakikuyu ambao wako Machakos County.
We see Her Excellency Wavinya Ndeti as an example to also the young mothers, to the ladies, and also to young girls from all communities.
And human activities like sand harvesting and illegal logging have been identified as major threats to wildlife conservation. Speaking after an animal head count exercise organized by the Athi Kapiti Wildlife Conservancies Association, stakeholders allege that armed individuals who harvest sand at night invade conservancies and kill animals in large numbers.
This landscape has fluctuations. We are seeing some numbers going up, like the giraffe, and some of the eland and zebra species are going up, but we're also seeing decrease in some species.
Residents of Katusin village in Igembe North Sub-County, Meru County, have called on the national government through security agencies to urgently intervene and eject herders who they claim have invaded their farms and destroyed crops.
Na ni ombi yangu kwa serikali iweze kusaidia watu wa area hii ili waweze kupata haki yao, kwa sababu wakulima na wafugaji ni kitu kimoja.
In West Pokot, teachers' unions have called for an affirmative action to addressing issues affecting learning and teachers across the region.
There's a very high rate of understaffing, and this one at some point can even cause children or learners to drop out of school because the teacher-learner ratio is low.
Finally, the Principal Secretary for Trade and Industry, Dr. Juma Mukwana, has defended the government on high fuel prices, saying the development was beyond its control.
Tukipata shida kama ile tulikuwa nayo juzi, vita ya Iran na US inatuharibia pia biashara yetu hapa. Tuliona vile vita ya Ukraine na Russia vile ilianza, pia ilileta hiyo shida.
And now let's get to business. The youth are being challenged to enroll for maritime courses to tap the immense blue economy opportunities available for Kenyans. Our presidential advisor on political affairs, Giverson, says the government has already secured employment opportunities through partnerships with international companies in the maritime and blue economy value chain.
In conjunction with the government of the Netherlands has launched a program aimed at creating thousands of jobs for Kenyans. The first phase of the program is expected to benefit 40,000 Kenyans.
In the next 3 months, vijana ambao watakuwa wanajiriwa ni 120,000 na wanataka vijana ambao wataenda na Kenya. Tunapendwa kwa sababu vijana wa Kenya wana nguvu.
Nzai cites a recently secured partnership involving 1,000 seafaring jobs for Kenyans with Wilson Ship Management in Norway, saying the opportunities present a major breakthrough for youths interested in careers within the maritime sector.
Vijana mujazetiti, tuone kwamba kila mmoja amepata ujuzi fulani na amekuwa mmoja wa kuajiriwa.
He urged young people to use digital devices responsibly by searching for employment opportunities through official government platforms such as the National Employment Authority portal, instead of falling victim to fraudsters advertising false jobs abroad.
Nenda kwa National Employment Authority, uanze kugoogle pale, utafute ile kazi ambayo wewe unaona unaweza kufanya. Na serikali itakupatia, itakupeleka mpaka upate. Na una haja ya kujua mtu.
Alan Auko, Lunchtime News.
And now, a digital business mapping program has been launched aiming to improve visibility and accessibility for enterprises. Now, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Mombasa Chapter Chairperson Abdul Jamal says the project will use geographical information systems and digital registries to create a unified business directory covering enterprises of all sizes. Jamal says the project will improve market access, support investment decisions, and strengthen data-driven planning.
We are building an economic infrastructure that is future-proof. Reliable business data supports smarter planning, better investment decisions, improved access to financing, and of course, stronger economic policies. When businesses become visible, economies become stronger. When entrepreneurs become discoverable, opportunities can multiply. And when businesses grow, communities prosper.
And our Tourism Principal Secretary Julius Bitok says Kenya is targeting 10 million tourist arrivals in the coming years that will be supported by a review of the electronic travel authorization system to attract more airlines and maintaining a visa-free entry for visitors from across Africa. Here's more.
Tourism is ramping up efforts to accelerate growth in tourism numbers.
Tourism Principal Secretary Julius Bitok says this will be anchored by a series of reforms aimed at attracting more visitors.
If we did 10 million tourists, how much money will we be talking about?
Speaking during the tourism operators sector of Kenya Gala dinner in Naivasha, Bitok said market diversification and digital transformation will support growth of tourism that currently generates more than 500 billion shillings annually.
What will be the impact on this economy? What will be the impact in our households?
The Kenya Tourism Board is intensifying marketing in key source markets such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Uganda, Tanzania and India.
We will work closely with the Ministry of Tourism to shape policies that protect our parks, streamline licensing, make Kenya the easiest African destination to do business in.
An ambitious plan to attract 5.5 million visitors by the financial year 2027-2028, but today my peers whispered to me and said, no, June, I want 10 billion. Challenge accepted.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
Now to the international front, crude oil prices were mixed in Asian trading as easing tensions between Iran and Israel reduced concerns over potential disruptions to global energy supplies. Now, Brent crude oil fell 1.07% to $79.7 per barrel. Now, here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
There has been cautious trading of crude oil and shifting risk sentiment. The moves follow an announcement by Iran's military joint command that it would halt offensive operations against Israel after an exchange of retaliatory strikes earlier in the day. Diplomatic discussions between the United States and Iran continued in Lausanne, Switzerland, adding to expectations of a possible de-escalation in the conflict. The easing tensions reduced the geopolitical risk premium that had supported prices, though markets remain cautious over the durability of the truce and the security of key shipping routes such as the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs has cut its year-end gold price focus to $4,900 per ounce from $5,400, citing expectations that the U.S. Federal Reserve will not deliver an interest rate cut this year. The investment bank says it now sees the Fed's next rate cut pushed back to 2027, a shift it expects to curb inflows into gold-backed exchange-traded funds. Goldman Sachs warned that a more hawkish policy stance from the Fed could further dampen demand for gold, which has already come under pressure in recent weeks. International gold prices have fallen for 3 consecutive weeks, slipping below $4,200 per ounce and down more than 20% from this year's peak. Finally, amid Cuba's prolonged energy crisis, solar photovoltaic systems are emerging as a crucial backup for small and medium-sized businesses struggling with daily blackouts. Cuba's electricity shortages have worsened in recent years, with blackouts in Havana often lasting more than 10 hours, disrupting daily life and business activity. In Havana, some businesses remain late during outages as solar panels and battery systems keep operations running while surrounding streets fall into darkness. Customers use this space to charge devices and continue working, with one saying this solar setup had become essential for remote work.
And now let's get sporty for a moment. Mackenzie FC and Katine Starlets are the champions of the Captain Irene Ndanu Soccer Tournament Matungulu edition after emerging victorious in the finals played at Mackenzie Grounds in Matungulu, Machakos County. The successful conclusion of the tournament has been hailed as a major boost for grassroots football development in the region.
In the men's final, Mackenzie FC edged out Ndonyo FC with a narrow 1-0 victory in a closely contested match to lift the title before jubilant home crowd. In the women's final, Katine Starlets delivered a dominant performance, thrashing Malaa Queens 4-0 to be crowned champions. Following the victories, both winning teams received trophies and cash prize of 50,000 Kenya shillings each, while the runners-up walked away with 25,000 Kenya shillings each. Organizers say the tournament is aimed at nurturing football talent and promoting the growth of the sport across Machakos County by providing a platform for players to showcase their skills and compete at a higher level.